Hi guys, I've actually lost count of what week of isolation this is. Certainly I think it's video number 4. Last week had a great video chat with Julie Futcher from the sales manager about CRM and some LinkedIn stuff. I thought the only way you can follow up Julie Futcher talking about CRMs is to probably talk to Mr. CRM, Ashish Kumar from Web Alliance. So got a good friend Ashish here with me. He's been enjoying his little bit of isolation in his office, as you can see. I can see the kettle's on behind you there, Ashish. It looks like you're
yes, it's all set.
looks like you're taking good care of yourself there, mate. So I'm glad to see you doing all right. I'm glad to see you've not been too impacted by this. But as I said, I spoke to Julie last week. We talked about the importance of CRMs in the sales process. So I thought you were the perfect person to follow that talk up. So I suppose the key question really for a lot of people is, what is a CRM?
All right. CRM basically means customer relationship management, and it is a kind of a software which deals with the customer interaction side of the business. If you talk about business management software, then CRM is a part of it, which just deals with the customer. And if you want to know what that business management software is called, it called like ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning System, which is responsible to manage the whole business, and CRM essentially a part of the whole software which manage necessarily the whole business. CRM is especially customer relationship management.
Okay, and I know you've been involved in CRMs for well, you're probably like 21, so a couple of years. But I mean, what would make a good CRM for someone? If they're small business, large business, what would make just a good CRM for a client? I mean, there's plenty. We'll come to it. There's plenty of off-the-shelf stuff. So, for you, what makes a good CRM?
The answer to that is basically software should serve what business is looking at. Let's put it that way. There are plenty of the shelf CRMs available. You can go for other bespoke as well. But it is the thing is what exactly business is looking for, what they want to achieve with the help of that software. If that software serves that purpose, I believe that makes the best CRM for the business. And it is not wrong to say that there are a variety of software out there. They are all brilliant, but one work for some company better than other, because that is what the requirement is. And there is nothing right or wrong out there. But I believe companies should look at what they are want a CRM for, basically, or if they are looking for a CRM, or they are looking for a software which can go much beyond that CRM. Like they would like to maybe manage their workflow with the help of a software, that it is not necessarily come within a software boundary, but people call them a CRM because we are well aware of the CRM term. But in that case, of course, it can do much more than what a CRM should do. So the answer to that question is, like, if it is serving the purpose of the business, then that is the best CRM for them, to be honest.
Okay, I suppose that does kind of lead into how do you pick the right CRM? I mean, you would probably say one that's designed and built by Web Alliance, obviously. But yeah, you did highlight there that yes, it's finding what adapts to what can be built for your business rather than you adapting to something that's off the shelf. And I suppose in some ways it's trying to put a square peg into a round hole if you're buying off the shelf. But yeah, how would you go about kind of picking or maybe designing the right CRM?
Okay, so answer to that is how do you pick a right CRM? I believe companies go for, because getting a CRM also is a change, or getting a new software is a change, and nobody wants the change, unless there is some underlying problem or pain. Fine. So if you are asking anybody to provide a software, may it be a bespoke software, may it be off the shelf, then that person should essentially first understand what the pain is, why the company is going for a software. Fine. And believe me or not, every company, small or big, must have some problem. That is why they are disturbing the way they work, because everybody is comfortable. Even I can see you are working manually and you will have X amount of problem, but you as a business will find that manual process much more easier because you are used to it. So if you are changing your processes, your way how you work, so you are automizing some of your stuff, then of course a company who is providing a CRM, whether it is off the shelf or bespoke, should or must understand your underlying problem. Unless a software can resolve those problems, it cannot be a success. Fine. So, and that problem, if you come, that might be a efficiency, like your system is not very efficient, or it is not effective enough, or it is a manual system which is taking a lot of time. So whatever software a company should go for should address the underlying pain of the business. Then of course it will work. And of course I will go for bespoke because that is what we do. But there are a lot of off-the-shelf softwares also available. But if you ask me, when you select off-the-shelf software, then there is some sort of a compromise you have to make. Fine. And it is not that if you go for a bespoke software, there is no compromises. There are a lot of compromises in bespoke software as well. But these compromises are of a different kind. Like, I'll give you a few examples of what kind of a compromises you have to make with bespoke. Like time, you have to invest far more time than buying off the shelf. You have to spend a bit more money to start with, fine, in case of bespoke. But the advantages which you will get out at the other end, like you don't have to compromise on how you work. You can make software to work according to you rather than other way around. So there are a lot of compromises to make in either situation. But yeah, you have to evaluate your situation as well and then see how your staff member are comfortable, they are all right with maybe off the shelf, or they can of course go for bespoke. So yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in what you said there about compromises. I see it when I'm putting in software for different things with my client base, and you're right. You will have to make compromises when you take things off the shelf, but a compromise of time, anything's going to have investment of time. That's an important thing in any move of software. Yes, money is always a factor, but I don't think money is necessarily a compromise, because if you're spending money to get the process right, it's going to work how you work, and make you more efficient. Then that compromise of a bit more money at the start is going to pay dividends in the future.
Yeah, and I can tell you one more interesting fact is roughly in 2 years' time, the money spent on off the shelf and money spent on bespoke is kind of a break even. If you are a reasonable sized company of around 5 to 10 people, fine. If you are like 20, then no brainer, bespoke is for you, because some of the nice off the shelf, they are not cheap because they know they add value, so they are expensive, like Salesforce and other softwares. If you use 10 odd licenses, it will cost you a hell lot of monthly money, and then you will easily see in 2 years time you are spending same amount of money with off the shelf as you would have done with bespoke. But after 2 years on, the bespoke will go down, of course, in money. You don't have to pay anything other than hosting or a bit of a support. But in off the shelf, it started low, but unfortunately, after 2 years, it rocket, because they know, those companies know you can't easily migrate out of it. And one more very interesting fact is companies should give a much more thought before they get into the software. Getting into a software is very easy, but getting out of it is not so easy, because you have used that software in a variety of ways. Your threats are into it, fine. And then when you migrate out of it, then off the shelf, of course, will not give you everything what you need as an export, so that you can import it to other software. So you have to be very, very careful and give some more time and some more thought when it comes to a decision like what kind of a software is companies looking for. So this is very important stuff. As I said, getting into a software is very easy and very cheap, but getting out of it is nightmare. It can cost you time, money, effort, everything.
Yeah, and I've seen the trying to get out of software. Years and years ago, I had Sage Act, which I think is now Swift Page Act, or I don't think they've rebranded it away from Act. Yeah, very easy just to sit there and spend a couple of hours putting in all the details and maintaining it. But yeah, when I'd kind of outgrown it and it wasn't doing what I wanted, it just got very clunky and slow and became more of a headache to use. Yeah, trying to get away from it, which was an absolute nightmare. Like I say, exporting data. They export it for their own systems, but yeah, if you want to export elsewhere, definitely a massive disadvantage, like you say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, you've touched on a couple of things there. I suppose really the benefits of using a CRM. You said about having it to work. You're working, or sorry, the CRM's working to you, not you working to the CRM. The cost over the time, say. I know when you build a CRM, you're constantly developing the back end. Whereas if you take something off the shelf, that doesn't necessarily happen without them paying for those upgrades. Again, Sage Act was always a great example. Yeah, it did this, but then it stopped working with Outlook, so it upgraded Outlook. Then another couple of £100 for the next version of Sage Act, which the slight learning curve again. So it's just more and more time and money every year for small increments. But
I can give you a bit more advantages as well if you would like to hear that. It can, of course, save you time because it can automate some things for you. You can chase people automatically and you don't have to remember what you do. A software can do pretty much lots of things automatically for you. And I have worked with businesses where admin, they were repeating quite a number of jobs. So say suppose engineering company where engineers goes out on the field for a job, they have to come back, they have to hand over the flash disks and job cards, and the admin person have to insert everything in there, which doesn't have to be done. Engineer can go with the phone or iPad, they can enter information themselves real time, and there is no admin involved there, and then business can save up to 80,000-90,000 pounds at least for every year. So this is a kind of a small things. If business implement correctly, they can save a lot of money on running the business. Basically, they can streamline their workflows. They can manage and track the performance of the staff member much more easily and comfortably. And then they have a better control over the business if they use a software correctly. And of course, it will be time and money and everything will be saved as well.
I think that's quite a hefty. I think you said 80,000 to 90,000 pounds for a big business saving. I mean, that's a couple of members of staff salary they just saved there. So that's a fantastic saving. In fact, I'd love to say that in my business, but I don't spend anywhere near that out on my data retention. But no, that's a great example of how it can save some money there and some of the benefits and time savings for small businesses is really important. I know when I moved over to Xero for my accounting software, slight difference, but I saved probably 5 hours at the start of the month just in how Xero automates my recurring invoices. So yeah, time's a very important saving for small businesses, even if it is just purely to give whoever does that bit of work some time off. I now enjoy Saturday mornings a lot more than I used to.
Yeah, and there is one more advantage there which I forgot to mention is the reporting. If the data is in your system, you should get it out in any shape or form you like. If your software is not giving you the data which you need, then the software is letting you down, to be honest. So yeah, you should get out anything you want out of your CRM in terms of reporting, because reports are the life and blood of a business. And management reports are absolutely critical to the business.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, if any information you can bring from a system into your business and see how the metrics are doing, you want to know who's tracking sales, who's performing in the sales market and who's not, and then you can address why they're not. Same for my line of work with technicians. I keep a track of people who are doing jobs for me and making sure they're doing it efficiently and effectively. Because
Absolutely.
it becomes a very much a downward spiral if people aren't performing. It becomes your reputation if you're a small business, or just money that's getting kind of wasted down the drain because you're not paying attention to the information that's there or seeing the problems. Which again, I suppose actually goes almost full circle. If you're not seeing the problems, a CRM can then help you start seeing those problems, as you said, with effective reporting. So I know there's some really great benefits to it. And I know you've done some really good CRM systems. You've done the one for, I'm going to give Paul Green another plug here. You do the back end and a big part of the website for Paul Green's business community. I mean, that's a CRM system I input data into in terms of booking events and putting testimonials up. I'm probably doing that 2 or 3 times a week. Very easy system to use from the user's perspective. I've not seen the back end. But I was just wondering, would you, without being giving away too much information, kind of give an example of one of the CRMs you've built for someone? Just, like I say, you don't need to name names or anything like that. It's all
It's
confidential.
absolutely fine, no problem. And my clients love them, love me, and then they won't mind anything. So I'll give you one example. I can give you quite a lot, but I won't take you more time in that. We have done bespoke software for event management company based in Leicester. They are called Imperial Corporate Events. Fine. They had got a bespoke software done for them in 2004, which is very early on. And then in like 3 years back, they approached us because that software was on Microsoft Access, and that was not working efficiently because the volume of data it had got, and it was crashing all the time, and it was like run from the in-house system they had got in our servers and all. So we had to upgrade that software. They approached us to rewrite that software. So in this case, off the shelf is out of picture, because what they wanted, they cannot possibly get from off the shelf. So what we have done for them is like they buy events stock from event management, like events itself, like Royal Scott and big event companies, fine, and then they resell that stock. So we have done a booking system for them whereby they can sell stock to the people they like, they can sell to companies, they can sell to individuals. And then payments of those bookings, tickets, delivery, tickets, printing, all the invoices are being connected to their Sage 200 system automatically. And this is very interesting part. They have got around 40, 50 sales executive. And then most of them are on basic and commission. And then our software calculates the commission once a month, which runs for around half an hour, and creates that much big pile of a printout, and which of course is a commission what each and every member has done in that month. And then that commission report is being used to run the payroll. Fine. So this is a kind of a thing. And then there is around 50 reports which they want. In like credit control is a different reporting, admin is a different reporting, and event team, they want different reports. So it has got back end divided into 3 sections. So as you can see, this kind of a voluminous software. This is, of course, one of the biggest work as well. It took around 2 years to develop, and when we see at it, we feel proud as well, because 80 of them, they use the system at one time, including staff, salespeople. And now we are doing addition on that. We are putting a client portal whereby they have sold tickets to, of course, clients, and then clients can log in. They can print their own invoices, they can pay online, they can see where the tickets are. So all that kind of a thing now we are doing for them. So this is one example of the work which we have done where there is no possibility of the shelf. There was only one route which was bespoke, and we were proud of that job.
Yeah, no, that does sound sounds in some ways a development nightmare, because there's so much you've clearly put in. I mean, 2 years is no short period of time at all for development.
Yeah.
I know that from the developers I've known over the years. So, no, that does sound quite an incredible system. And like you say, I couldn't envisage one product off the shelf even being close to that. So yeah, Spoke was clearly the answer on that one. So no, fantastic.
Which we have done for Paul Green. It's a small system, not very big system, but again, you won't find any system which does one-to-one pairing to you, which is a kind of a unique thing for business community network meeting. So these are the elements where off-the-shelf get failed, because you can get off-the-shelf system for an industry or sector which is like very widely used, health and safety, recruitment, sales funnel is absolutely fine, and you should use off the shelf for those purposes. If you need something very specific for your business, for automizing your workflow, maybe in manufacturing organization, then you're stuck. So we do work with 5 manufacturing companies as well. So these are the kind of areas where is only one-way traffic which is bespoke, but off the shelf are great for the routine kind of a jobs.
Yeah, no, like I say, Paul's. I won't tell Paul you called him his side a small system, because I know his view on being the biggest networking group in Northamptonshire and beyond. So yeah, we'll keep that little tidbit to ourselves on that one. And in fact, I'll soon be off to his Friday 3 o'clock one. But no, there is. You're right, absolutely right. Paul's side with the one-to-one matching is fantastic. Unfortunately, sometimes I do get matched with Paul, so maybe we'll have a discussion about that offline, and how I can avoid that in the future. But no, like I say, Paul's system from my side of it is very, when I'm just being a user, is fantastic. And I know Paul does speak highly of you as well for what you've done with him and for the system. So I don't want to let this run on too long, because we have both got obviously busy days and business to run. So I'm really, really grateful for you taking what's probably been 20, 25 minutes of your time out to have this chat with me. I suppose, again, once more, a little plug for your business. I know people can probably see your banner in the background, but if they want to get in contact with you, it's www.web-alliance.co.uk, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah. So and obviously this will go out across my platforms for social media, so people see you'll be tagged in and can contact you directly there. But again, thank you, Ashish. It's been fantastic, and thank you very much for taking the time on a very busy.
Thank you very much, because I am a technical backgrounded person and not very well known for speaking. So yeah, thank you very much for your approach, and yeah, it's pleasure is on mine.
Brilliant. I will no doubt see you at a networking event very soon. So once again, thank you, Ashish. I'll catch up with you soon.
Bye.